Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review or indie comics review, and in this I'll be covering Joy Operations Volume 2 by Brian Michael Bendis and Street Fighter Masters Game Gals. I'll now get things organised for the first one that will be reviewed. So first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? Sure enough it does. As you see the somewhat look of disgust on her face, yeah, I got a bit of a look of disgust in regards to how this story went. So a 7 out of 10 for the cover. Now it's time to move into the area of the internal art as we have a look around the beginning, middle and of course the end, and also what is happening story-wise with the characters. So as the story begins, we end up meeting with one of the presidents, known as President Kane, and also what's been happening with Joy Corrigan, and trying to learn a little bit more about the character of Hampton. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we see a discussion with some of the members that she has made a new alliance with in regards to exposing the Janando Trust. If I were to say one thing, I think this issue would have been a real good issue to use as a bit of a recap of some of the last things that happened in the last issues before these, and then move directly into the new story. And last but not least, we move towards the end, to which we also learned that there has been a hit squad through the Janando Trust that has been sent to get Joy Corrigan. So for the internal art, I do give it a 7.5 out of 10. I did quite enjoy the art by Stephen Byrne here. Next is the area of the story. And considering that this is basically Volume 2, did we get any references to any of the previous issues or even the previous volume itself, which might be helpful for maybe any new reader? The answer is no, we didn't. Next is the area of the location, to which we didn't get anything at all as to show where we were. Again, bad storytelling. The areas were shown a little bit more in the previous volume. You're going to have new people who are going to jump onto this series, and they're not going to know which area is which. And this is why the importance of locations needs to be shown in story. Like, yeah, you can show the location, but we still need the name of the location. Next is the cast of characters. We catch up with Joy Corrigan along with members of her family. We still know that Hampton is still around. We have President Kane. And last but not least, we have the Janando Trust Hit Squad. For the overall story rating in this, I give a 6 out of 10. As I mentioned before, I feel that this issue, or this particular issue, probably would have been better off giving a bit of a recap from some of the things of what happened in the previous issues, or the previous graphic novel, and then moving into where they were planning on taking us with the story. I think that's the only thing I could point out with this. And I think it would have made for a better way to sort of like get us a little bit more involved with the story instead of showing what was being shown here. So now it's time to move on to the Street Fighter Masters Game Gals Issue 1. So starting off with first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? Sure enough it does, to which I give it a 7.5 out of 10. And my goodness, yeah, we get to see a number of these characters that we see here on the cover, along with some other characters as well that you don't expect. So as we start to move into the the area of the internal art, having a look around the beginning, middle, and end, and also what's happening story-wise with the characters. We end up meeting the character of Shin, to which it looks like he's at a bit of a hotel of sorts, and or not necessarily a hotel, but a restaurant. And in this, he ends up getting into a bit of a fight with one of the characters that are there. We don't quite learn the character's name, but this is something where I think Udon could sort of fix up a little bit more in regards to their stories, because you're going to have new people come into this and not know who characters are. Saying one person's name ain't going to help, especially if they don't know who the rest of the person's name are. Okay, I could understand for maybe big Street Fighter fanatics that are like deep into the lore. They might know it, but you're going to have new readers who are going to come on and not know who every character is. So as we jump a little bit further, we end up seeing the character of Sakura, and she gets in a fight with one of the characters in the story, who we learn her name is Makato. We also meet up with characters such as Mika and also Chun-Li, and we also do see another character towards the end. And last but not least, towards the end, to which we get the catch up with Chun-Li and a couple of others, couple other of the female characters within the Street Fighter universe. And last but not least, a nice little surprise to which we actually get the catch up with, guess who but Sagat. So now it's time to move in relation to the area of the story. For the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Next is the area of the story. First things first, do we get anything time-wise in indication? No, we don't. We didn't end up getting anything comic reference-wise, though it might not hurt for maybe some little sections. But apart from that, I think the story turned out pretty well. Next, we have the locations in the story, to which we have Seoul, Korea, Tokyo, Japan, and Kenzuki's mansion. So one of the female characters, we end up going to one of their mansions in Japan. The cast of characters consisting of Shin, Sakura, Makoto, Mika, Chun-Li, and last but not least, the character of Sagat. For the overall story rating, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.